Montgomery Kennedy.
Do you go by Montgomery?
My middle name is Jackson, and I go by Jack Kennedy.
Okay, Jack. Where are you from, Jack?
Well, I was kind of raised when I was a kid in the Calderwood,
Here in Blount County?
Blount County,
Okay.
and my daddy had the machine shop there, and I was on his shirt tail raised up in the shop from the time I was a kid. So I kind of worked at the machinist trade all my life.
Okay. And then where did you go to high school?
Sullivan County.
So you moved from Blount County to Sullivan County and went to school there.
When the TVA started, my daddy moved. He was over the maintenance and all those dams, you know, Calderwood Dam and Chioa, Topeka. Those were the dams that started at Alcoa.
Okay.
And he was maintenance over all them dams. Well, when TVA started, he started moving to wherever they was building the dam. So we just kept moving.
So you went to high school in Sullivan County, and then when you graduated from high school, what did you do?
I went to work. My daddy was living in Kingsport then, and I got a job in Knoxville, the old Ashley and White machine shop, found it there where the World's Fair Park is now, on 10th Street. And then I went to work for Myers and Whaley. You ever heard of that?
No.
That's over in Lonsdale.
Okay.
And they built mining machinery. And that's where I was working on a second shift there. Well, they got a contract to make gun parts for the government, you know, after the war started. And I could have had a deferment, but me and my buddy was working on a second shift there. Both of us just turned 18. And we both decided to join the Navy.
What year was this?
Huh?
What year was this?
This was in early in 43.
43.
And so we were going to be in the Navy together. Back then you had to go to Nashville to be sworn in and join. And instead of us being together during the war, they sent me to San Diego and him to Bainbridge, Maryland. They was trying to find out if I was working as a machinist like I had told them. And they never did get the information back. I got tired of staying there. While I was staying there, they put me as a lifeguard, and they had a huge saltwater pool there at San Diego. And had the big tower and swimming test and all that. Well, I worked there for a little while, and I finally went in and told them I wanted to get out of there and go somewhere. And they sent me to the post office, Fleet Post Office in San Francisco. Well, I was just there for a very little bit of time, and they shipped me out to the South Pacific.
And then what was your job in the South Pacific?
What
was your job in the South Pacific?
Delivering mail.
To? Who were you delivering mail to?
Anywhere. When the mail come in the Navy, it came into the Advanced Naval Base, wherever that was. And then you would go with a chief, maybe one or two, to deliver that group of mail to another island or a ship, and you'd either go by plane, ship, any kind of transportation you could get. You know, back then they had them old PBY planes, and they had the bigger car and autoplane. Both of them would land on the water, you know. And that's all I did.
So you went aboard a lot of Navy ships delivering mail.
Just any kind of ship you could get transportation on.
Okay.
I've delivered mail on a refrigerator ship, and the AT, you know, the Army troop ship, them little Army troop ship, they had a lot of them going from one island to another. But I never was assigned to a ship or a gun crew or anything like that.
Now, where were you based out of? Where was your base?
Wherever the advanced naval base was. But one of the first advanced naval bases they had was a small island named New Caledonia. And that was the advanced naval base, and it was also, you know, they were still fighting in New Guinea. And the island had so much equipment on it, they just would almost sink it. But that was one of the first places I went. And then somewhere else in the Sullivans. And I don't even remember all the...
Now, you got hurt in the Navy. Tell us about that.
That was at Espiritu Santos in the New Hebrides. The Navy had a big repair base there. It was just a small vessel. The ship I came in on couldn't get into the port there. And it was on like a Liberty ship or a small vessel. You know, they're fueled with gasoline. And that's the reason that when the bomb was struck, that's the reason the water caught on fire. And I was just blown off the ship, me in a mail bag, and I got loose from the mail bag and I swam through the fire, and I just got burns on singed my hair off here and on my shoulders.
Wow.
And I served enough time overseas to get rotated, you know, back to the States. And on my rotation, when I was supposed to come back, I forget how many months I'd been over there. I was in Honolulu, there at Pearl Harbor, waiting on transportation back to the States. Well, that's when they dropped the bomb. I was there. And this friend of mine, you know, that I told you I joined with, the Royal Hawaiian Hotel was a recovery center. The Navy took it over. But his ship, he took a suicide plane and blowed the whole superstructure off. And he was happened to be in the hospital. I looked him up in the record office. And that's the first time I'd seen him since we joined in Knoxville. And me and him, we'd been out just looking around there in Honolulu. And he went back to the hospital, and went out to catch a ride back to Pearl Harbor. And here come a sick guy with a bunch of waves on it, women. And they were screaming and blowing the horn. And they stopped and said, the war's over, Japanese has surrendered. And you wouldn't believe the celebration they had at Pearl Harbor that night.
Wow.
All the guns is going off in the harbor, and flares, and everybody crowding into Honolulu, and the streets are crowded. Biggest party you ever seen.
Wow.
That's where I was at when the war ended. And when I come back to the States, there was a aircraft carrier. They were sending them cars, because you know them smaller cars. Mm-hmm. They were sending them back and getting them refitted as troop ships to bring people back. And I got passage on one of them going to San Francisco. And from Hawaii to San Francisco, we spent a whole lot of time throwing spare parts, wheels, wing sacks. Every spare part that was on there was spread out from Hawaii to San Francisco.
Wow.
And I was just there a short time. You know, I had to have so many points to get discharged. I was just in San Francisco a short time, so I had enough points but I was working there at the Fleet Record Office till I got discharged. I was discharged as a shoemaker.
When you were discharged, did you come back to Maryville, or where did you go?
Yeah, my family, my dad, he was working. He was working at Fulton's, Robert Shaw, during the war. Mm-hmm. And all my brothers, I was the oldest. There was 9 kids in my family. And he was living in Knoxville. He was having a hard time, and his health was bad, and in debt. And I took my separation pay. I bought an old house and 5 city lots in Lonsdale for my dad and mother and their family to live in.
Wow.
And I went to work as a machinist at Robert Shaw Fulton's. And several years, I guess I'd been there probably 20 years, and I kept advancing up. And I was over the 2 die makers. I had about 40 people I was supervising.
Wow.
And I did that. I worked at Robert Shaw for 40 years. And I retired there when I was 62.
Okay.
And then I moved to Blount County. I had 2 kids of my own then. And I went to work with the guy that owns a lot of real estate here in Blount County. Mm-hmm. And he was building houses. And I worked for him about 20 years. I worked till I was nearly 85.
Wow. How old are you today?
I'll be 94 my birthday.
Well, you look great.
I feel great. Mm-hmm. The Lord blessed me with health. I've never had to take medicine. and never had any major diseases. And
What does it feel like today being a veteran of World War II?
well, I've never made a big deal out of it,
Mhm.
you know. I'm proud that I served, and my son, he served 2-3 year hitches on the Kitty Hawk in the Navy during the Vietnam, and I'm proud that he served. And I'm a real conservative guy, and I love this country.
Well, we can tell.
And I'm really proud that I did serve and could serve.
Well, we're proud of you, and you definitely made a difference for our freedom during World War II, and we really thank you for your service in doing this interview.
Well, I'm proud that I could serve and did serve.
We're proud of you, Jack. So, thank you for sitting down with us and sharing your story.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yep.